Being working class, having to struggle, and the majority of the people on the planet are struggling through some shape or form. When you are seeing every day other people living opulently, it makes you feel a certain way. It gets you into a certain mind frame, and it does make you resentful. And by the same token, people who are rich, a lot assume that poor people are poor due to laziness and all this stuff, and that's simply not the case either. It is depressing because you and I have talked before about, you know, the working man's depression. I feel like I'm depressed every day of the week. The only time that I'm not depressed is probably Friday night. I think, yay, weekend. By the Sunday, I'm depressed again. So Friday night, maybe a little bit of Saturday. Sunday, I'm depressed again because I know I've got to go back to work. And it's not that the work is bad, it's that the struggle is always it's continuous. And things are not going to get better, unfortunately. It's continuous. And the majority of men do this until they die. Youth onwards, they work and they try and make sure they have enough to eat and all the rest of it and provide for their families until they die. There is not much time to do anything else. That's depressing. It's not the work itself. That's depressing. So all of us are trying to climb out of this hole. All of us, you know, and a lot of people will do whatever it takes, and they'll step on other people. And this system that we're in promotes you stepping on other people to get ahead. And those sort of people aren't very nice. The nice guys do finish last, and the ones that aren't, they turn out to be successful and rich. And how badly do you want riches? Having money is great, but having an abundance of money isn't a hell of a lot. It's nothing to be desired, really. You're having millions and billions and trillions and zillions and squillions of pounds. What does it benefit you? A lot of these celebrities, they've got money without having the time to enjoy it. What's the point then? Because your time is always being divided into keeping up your celebrity lifestyle, making more money.
I'll tell you something that was quite interesting that someone younger than me pointed out, and they were put in their place actually. Now, he said, why should people who are earning over X amount pay more tax than people who aren't earning as much?
Proportion.
Right. Now he said, these people, if they've worked very hard to get this money, why should they pay more tax? Well, those people who are earning less, they're not working any less hard than these people who are earning more money. They're just in a more difficult job. You take these teachers or people who work in NHS and they're on a set wage and they don't get these bonuses, they don't get these things. They have to put up with abuse from people because
that's the job.
Because they work in the public sector.
You make an interesting point. This guy that you're talking about, I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, he's not thinking really. He's obviously out of touch with...
Well, he's young. I get the feeling that he has not had a proper job. You see, so
right.
But he's working, and he wanted to be a fashion designer, and the reason, because there's money in it. And I say, okay, so that's your goal, is to make money. How much money? Great. So you managed to sell one pair of shoes. You managed to sell 2 pairs of shoes, 4 pairs of shoes. You know, and okay, you've got to 1 million. That's great. Now what? Oh, you got okay, right? Okay, now you've got to 4 million. Right? Is that enough? Can you?
This is it.
Can you stop?
I don't disagree, because it's like someone who is really interested in getting money won't be satisfied. Will never be satisfied with the amount of money they get. What seems like a lot of money to me now that I'm poor won't seem as much when I'm not poor. I honestly do think that people who are in very economically rewarding jobs don't necessarily work hard for them. Some do. Some people have to really work for their money. Some don't. Yeah. A large amount don't.
If you're on X amount and you can live comfortably on that amount, and like you say, this guy's maybe earning 6, 7, 8 times more, and he's saying, oh, you know, I don't see why I'd have to pay a bit more tax, because then that's cutting into my way of life. And you think, well, what about everyone else who, like you say, doesn't know where their food's coming from, doesn't know whether they'll have a job? People go on about the bankers, and it's morally reprehensible and all the rest of it, but at the same time, the system is designed to promote greed. To promote greed, corruption, non-collaboration, self-interest. It cultivates that. It cultivates that type of behaviour. Yeah.